Today, let's talk about a theory that is influenced by negative thinking, but a positive overall impact on task management in the organizations. It is called Murphy's Law. So let's begin. Murphy's Law primarily states that, if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. This law is based on the theory that, in doing a task, if there is slightest possibility of any problem occurring, it will occur. Let's study more about this concept. Invented by Captain Edward Aloysius Murphy Jr., an American aerospace engineer born in 1918, Murphy's Law states that anything that can go wrong, will go wrong. Given the natures of Murphy's Law, you may feel that it's a pretty negative way of thinking, but that's not always the case. It can be incredibly helpful to use Murphy's Law in your project or task planning and management in order to predict and navigate any potential problems that may arise. You can benefit from Murphy's Law when creating a project or to-do list by overestimating the time that each task will take to complete. This law is based on forward-thinking principles and the importance of having a contingency plan in place to deal with any setbacks that you encounter. For example, the design project you think will take a week may take 2 to 3 weeks, if everything doesn't go to plan. So, using Murphy's Law, you plan for the worst-case scenario, and give yourself those 3 weeks. Therefore taking pressure off yourself to put a rush on it, if it takes longer than expected. After setting deadlines, it's time to figure out how you'll respond to the scenarios that may occur. If you're in charge of a team, they need to be involved too, by running test drills for each potential problem. Team feedback and a follow-up discussion is essential in determining just how effective your response is and how you can improve it. This will build both your confidence as a manager and the confidence of your team, as you will be prepared and skilled to respond to every eventuality. Thus, a salesman should foresee losing his biggest client due to an economic downturn. A marketer should foresee their product release strategy being undermined by known product flaws. A manager should foresee their best employee leaving for a higher salary. A software developer should foresee his product go down because a server fails. In these roles, you should assume the worst is going to happen, and take reasonable precautions. More importantly, you should spend time practicing exactly how you're going to respond. While applying Murphy's Law, a manager should try to foresee every possible negative outcome organizations needs to address. What are the 5 worst things that could happen? How will they transpire? What are the possible variations? How can you respond effectively to each? Then, response should be practiced by managers with their teams. Managers must get feedback on their response and on its effectiveness. They should perform after-action reviews afterward, to assess how to respond more effectively next time. This entire process will have the psychological effect on the employees of the organization. Moreover, if the event actually happens, your organization is far more likely to calmly execute your plan. If the plan doesn't work, organization will still be collected enough to improvise and adapt. In recent times, many have claimed about the certainty of the pandemic. It is believed that this outbreak was inevitable, due to previous similar viruses outbreak. Thus, organizations should have been prepared for it. Bill Gates also warned, back in 2015, that next pandemic is coming. He cited lessons learned from Ebola virus crisis in 2014, that countries and business world is not prepared for any future pandemic. However, with the help of Murphy's Law application, organization can be prepared for the next future crisis by expecting and planning for the worst scenario. Thus, this law is based on planning for the worst outcome, and eliminating the possibility of randomness, so that any risk, calamity, pandemic or any event that can cause your organization harm, won't be able to catch you off guard. Please leave a like and subscribe the channel, if you want more contents like this in the future.